Okay guys, I'm just going to make this simple and to the point as possible. A major move is coming and I know exactly when it's going to happen. Now I won't know till the day of, because again, if price pushes up, we get further from that point. If price drops, we get closer. But when we make contact, I will know. And again, if you have access to the chart, you will know. I published this chart on March 8th, 2024. This is the very same chart. So every time you cross a blue ring, go long. Cross the blue ring, go long. Cross the blue ring, go long. Cross the blue ring, go long. And I had this curve up here. I said, look, this was potentially a cycle top. Notice we got rejected twice at this line. And again, this curve. And if you're on linear scale, it's a straight line. If you're on log scale, it's a curve. That's why I made it a curve. This is that ring we're coming up on. Now, there's three possible scenarios that could play out. We could drop and hit the ring. I will go long at the ring. When we cross the ring, I will go short. We could go sideways, get a small pump, and then we get a drop. We could get a major drop, right up the ring, cross it, then get a dump. But we know something's going to happen at that ring, and that ring is getting closer and closer. Now, you can't get access to these charts for free. I mentioned this in that tutorial video I put up. We'll cover that as well. The last video I put up, I'll put a link up to it now if you want to check it out. I told you guys, if the video before that, pay attention to around 92,000 too long. See if we get above 99,657, your next point short was central Bollinger Band on the daily around 102,500. That played out. You can see this is where we pushed up from, and we got a perfect rejection right at the center Bollinger Band. In Discord, I told everybody, I said, watch for a daily open below this yellow line. If that happens, it's probably going to be drop and chop. We got a daily open below. That means the direction of price changed. Notice what happened. We would push down, come back up, get rejected this line, push back down, push back down. So we're coming up to that line now, all right? So we know if we get above this line, well, your next resistance is going to be the central Bollinger Band up to this point. Take note, this is the top Bollinger Band. So all we can do for now is play one level at a time. If we get below, a daily open below this line, well, your next target is this line below. And this is also key because if we get below this point, we know we're going much lower. So I'm going to give you those targets. Just want to explain to you how to read the charts and how to play the charts. Again, if you want to get access to these charts, I did a deal with CoinCatch. You can get, now this is crazy, they're offering this. So they have three different ones. So, and again, this is to get a bonus for depositing on CoinCatch, plus you get access to my charts in Discord. So if you deposit $100, you can get a $100 bonus. If you deposit $500, you get a $750 bonus. If you deposit $1,000, you'll receive a $3,000 bonus. And this is with CoinCatch using my affiliate link. I will put a link up to this events page right now. So if you want to read this further, again, this will be pinned in the first comment description. And if you do the deposit $500 and get your bonus, you can get 1 month access to charts and Discord. If you deposit $1,000, you get 2 months access to charts and Discord. And remember, we're less than 2 months away from that ring. So if you want to get access to these charts and get a hell of a deposit, and again, you can use this money, $3,000 USDT you get back after making a $1,000 bonus. You can actually use that to offset your fees, your trading fees, and to pad your stop loss. That is one hell of a deal. Plus, you can get access to these charts. In less than 2 months, we get that big move anyway. So if you want to take advantage of that, go ahead. My referral link is down on that page. I'll go ahead and put a link up to my referral link if you want to sign up to CoinCatch. And again, my referral code is LCKO if you want to type it in. But again, take advantage of that if you want. There's a limited number of slots. And I did put up a tutorial video, guys. I wanted to keep this video short, but I'm just so damn thorough. I wanted to make sure I covered every single thing in this tutorial video to make sure you know how to use all the tools, that you know how to protect yourself, and it ran longer than I wanted, but everything you need is in this video. So this is the new CoinCatch video. I'll put a link up to it now if you want to learn how to use the tools, or at least learn how to use the tools that I use. In Discord, again, guys, I keep everyone updated. I use these charts, using the charts with Confluence. We were at a key support level of this fib line here that I just talked about just previously, and this was a key level on the H1 chart. So your point too long was 94,400 around that area, and you can see we pushed up from that point, and this is our support level. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you your key levels, and we're going to discuss that ring as well. We are less than 2 months away. The higher we push up, the further we get. The lower we drop, the closer we get. But we know something major is going to happen at that ring. Let's go on now. I'll come back to this chart. This is the ring I'm talking about. Again, I'll cover the different possible scenarios that can play out. But like I said, I will long the ring. Whether we drop, hit the ring, I will go long. Whether we go sideways, I will long. Once we cross it, I will go short. And just to let you know, this ring coincides with the DXY and the Dow Jones. Again, something major will happen at this ring. Now, before I go back and give you these key levels on Bitcoin and your hourly and daily, keep in mind, guys, I actually created a chart for the CPI. Take note right here. We topped out at 9.15 for the U.S. inflation rate. And notice this yellow line right here. All right, we found a perfect bounce at 2.43. This is a published version of this chart. And remember, I charted the CPI. I came up with this yellow line. Nobody knew about this line right here. I had to chart it a certain way to find that line. Again, published on August 6, 2022. And when I hit play, look what happens. We come down and get a perfect bounce on this line. I mean, how many people can actually chart the CPI and know when potentially we're going to get a reversal? It is very possible, again, that we will push up from that point. We'll have to see what happens. We know about this possible tariffs, or they say they're going to do tariffs, and then they pull back and they're not going to do tariffs. So there's a lot of uncertainty out there. But again, it's very possible, just like we got a bounce here. We've already got a bounce here, and we could see inflation start pushing up higher and higher. That would be bearish, guys. That is not bullish for the markets. NVIDIA. So this is a chart I published on February 8, 2024. And all of the stuff up here, that was, there was a stock split with NVIDIA. So when that happened, price came down. There was a split. But if I hit play, this is published on February 8th, 2024. Now, pay attention to this white ring and this blue ring. If I hit play, look what happened. We pushed up, all right? Let me get this bigger so you can see it. Notice what happened. Even though the stock split, price is up here, right? Stock split, we're still respecting these rings. This white ring became support, 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 support. We broke below it, pushed up, so this ring will become resistance. So I think this is an ideal point to be looking for a short for NVIDIA. Keep in mind, DeepSeek, all of the stuff that happened, they're pushing up potentially to fill this gap. And I would say be careful shorting the gap, but because of the way this chart is looking to me, this white line right here would fill the gap around 140.56. It is very possible, keep in mind the weekend's coming up, so that's going to be 2 days. So we don't have to, we could, if we wicked right up to, let's say, 140 or 142 actually. Yeah, that's 142. And then drop back down. Like, I think that'd be a great point to short. Or it's possible something plays out where we just, remember, 2 days are going to skip because of the weekend. And then next week we push up a bit, we fill that gap, but because of this ring, because we've been respecting it for so long as support, that is now going to be resistance. So you have a perfect short opportunity right now with NVIDIA. If it's today, guys, I would short the hell out of 142. But again, if it's next week when markets open and we kind of just go sideways and up, I would short around 143. Again, this ring is going to be a lot of resistance. And if you watch previous videos, I told you guys too long right here, too long, 117. Said if we get below it and start moving down to go short, but this was a point too long. But guys, this white ring is a point to short. These rings typically, I'm saying at least 8 out of 10 times they play out. And we're going to go back and talk about the orange ring as well. The DXY, I want to cover this because this is important. The US dollar has been dropping, but take note this yellow ring. And again, there's a reason they call me Lord of the Rings. Again, I found a way to find these rings and they work. Notice each one of these red vertical lines. We hit this yellow ring, pop. And we hit this yellow ring, pop, pushed up. We hit this yellow ring, pop, pushed up. This one, we just kind of crossed it. We came down a bit and pushed up. Well, the US dollar is dropping a good bit. We topped out at what, 110? Right now we're at 106. So if you see the US dollar come down, I think the lowest the dollar will go will be right around 103, let's say 104, probably 103.7. So, that's a pretty substantial drop. And we'll have to see what happens. If the US dollar is coming down, that's typically bullish for the markets for Bitcoin. But I'm expecting at this point, Again, I'm expecting to get a major bounce. Notice we got rejected right at this ring, all right? That was resistance. We pushed above it, came down, hit its perfect support. So that means if we come down, that is your point to go long on the US dollar, and which means that's probably a point you want to start going short on markets and Bitcoin and all your altcoins or whatever. But again, just another chart showing you that we're potentially got some downside for the US dollar, but when we hit that point, it's probably going to be a rocket ship pushing us up. So again, just another point I want to point out. I'm going to cover the Dow, then we can go back to Bitcoin. This Dow chart, just want to show you this. Now this looks complicated. People say, oh, it looks like a solar system. Look, I understand the chart. I can see what's going on. You see this vertical yellow line, right? This is when COVID happened, all right? We crossed this red ring or whatever hell color it is right now. It's kind, I don't know, it's kind of a pinkish color. But notice we got a drop straight down, right? That's when COVID happened. The difference is this ring right here, we pushed up this ring, we pushed up and had a little drop, but we continued up, all right? So this happened to be one exception where we pushed up. But notice this next one right here, all right? We crossed this ring. We did push up a bit, but notice this started the bear market, or at least some major downside. We just rode, once we crossed this ring, we just came down, we just started moving down. All right, this was the next one. Just like right here, we crossed this one, we pushed up, we crossed this one, we pushed up right here. Well, that next ring is over here. And again, I'm just telling you, there's so much confluence with the US dollar, with that ring on the Bitcoin chart. So if you see the Dow, now this is just the Dow, all right? You have to keep an eye on other markets. But if we push up, I think the highest we could possibly go would be around maybe 46,400. We might push a little bit above that, but I think the same thing that played out here, right? When we crossed here, we had a major drop. We crossed here, it took a while to play out, but we started coming down. I think the same thing is going to play out right over here. And again, the time frame, it is so close to that orange ring, it is crazy. So again, I think we could probably just go sideways and up, maybe drop from here, but I know that if we hit this point, this is probably going to play out like it did here and like it did back here. So something to pay attention to. But again, I'm showing you the confluence. Something major is going to happen with the Dow Jones, more than likely downside. You can see that here. And then we have the DXY. We know what point the DXY is going to get a major bounce. And you can clearly see how well price respects this ring. It's uncanny how well it respects it. And because it was resistance up here, it is going to be support here, not to mention it's also our previous highs, which will flip as support. That is a lot of damn confluence, plus you have this green line right here that's also going to be support. That is a lot of confluence for a bounce around, let's say, 104. So keep that in mind. Now let's go back to Bitcoin and let's discuss a few things. So right now, if Bitcoin continues up, all right, your key resistance right now is around, let's say, and again, I make these red because red means resistance. So either we get a rejection at 98,000 and then come back down to support, which is going to be down around, and this is a lot of support, guys, 95,600. That'd be next point to long. If we come back down to that point, go long. But if we get a daily open below 95,500 or a little lower than that, all right, then what happened here, get my brush tool. So we got a daily open below this yellow line right here, right? And again, as I mentioned in Discord, we just started chopping and we drop and chop, right? So if we get a daily open below this point, the same thing's going to happen. This will be support, resistance, support, resistance. Either we break back above our daily open, we push up to this resistance, or if we break below this point, well then we know we have a lot of downside, because once we get below this point, that's where the D1 simple chart comes in. I'm going to give you that price label, and as I said, guys, when I put up a video and I show you your key support levels, remember, these are at angles. So if today your resistance is 98,000, well, tomorrow that resistance is going to be 98,242 and then 98,379. And if it's further out, this goes up. But again, you know what to pay attention to. Watch for a daily open above 98,100. That would be bullish. Well, the central Bollinger Band is at 99,158. If we get above 98,100 on the daily and we get above that central Bollinger Band, well, we know we could push all the way up to around 101,800, maybe 102,000. There's a lot of liquidity there. Take note, this is the top Bollinger Band moving down to that point. Ideal point to open a short. But this is how you play it. You stay bearish below 98,000. You stay bullish above, well, 95,000. You know if 95,000 breaks, your next key point's around close to 94,000. But again, that's how you play the charts. All right, it's pretty straightforward. Let me go to this chart here. So again, in Discord, like I said, this red line showed a point too long. This fib line was a confluence, and you can see we pushed up from that point. That was your point to go long. Now you can see currently we're holding support right now, right here at around 96,246. As long as that holds, stay bullish from that point. Have your stop loss below. If that breaks, your next support level is down around 94,800. Keep in mind, that's the confluence of the chart I just showed you. The Cinder-Bollinger Band, well, we know that's setting around 99,000. So that is a resistance level to pay attention to. And if we get above that, well, your next resistance level is around 100,400. And if we take this up here, 103,348. But keep in mind, these are your hourly targets to play. But your most important chart you probably want to pay attention to is the D1 chart. So if we're above 98,100 with a daily open, again, not a wick. Notice these wicks come up and come back down. Talking about a daily open above. Then get bullish up to maybe 102,000 where that top Bollinger Band is. A lot of liquidity to take out there. Just play it one level at a time. And if we drop below 95,000 daily open, all right, you got this resistance. You got this resistance level right here, all right? You got this resistance level right here. So we get below this point. Well, if that becomes resistance, then we know we're headed down to at least this next fib channel line, and we have this support level here. So very strong support around 93,852. But again, that's how you play the daily. Now let's talk about this ring. Let's go to this one here. So again, as far as I'm concerned, that's what I was talking about. Remember in that very first one I showed you? Actually, this chart doesn't have that. I have to load another chart up. I showed that on linear scale in a previous video. But here's what I want to point out, guys. So we know that this line right here, all right, this is basically, a lot of people trade horizontal lines. I trade fib channels, so I try to find trend lines at angles that price is respecting. That's why these lines are at angles. They're not just horizontal. But your horizontal support right now, okay, so what needs to hold if you're playing horizontal support is around 92,000, all right? So if we stay above this, I mentioned this in the last video. So we stay above, 92,000, stay somewhat bullish, okay? The D1 chart gives you more, I guess, exact targets. But if we get below 92,000, we do have a key support level just below that. That's going to be around, depending when we make contact, 88,000, something like that. Your next key support level, and this will be a strong support level. I mentioned these in plenty of videos going back. These lines right here go back to the beginning of Bitcoin. I'll just zoom out so you can see the bigger picture. And I've done previous stuff showing this. This yellow line goes all the way back, all right? This yellow line, all the way back. See, it's support. It was support, resistance, support, resistance, resistance. Same thing with this orange ring. It's resistance, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. So we know how important those lines are, especially if it goes back since the beginning of Bitcoin. So we know those will be support levels. So the thing is we don't know if price is going to push up, all right, or if it's going to drop. All we can do is play one level at a time. But I can tell you this. We do have a gap. It does not have to get filled. We have a gap around 77,000. I think it's amazing that this just happens to have this orange line that goes back since the beginning of Bitcoin happens to be right at that point where that would fill that gap on the CME futures chart. But regardless of these levels, this ring is what I'm paying attention to. We know, all right, so if we break 92,000, we break 87,000, maybe come down to 77,000, even if we go sideways, if we drop wherever we're at, I'm going to long the ring because I believe that ring, and it would even make sense. We would drop down, take out some of these longs, people start shorting and they push price up. So whatever happens, whether we go sideways, whether we go down, when we make contact with this orange ring, I'm going to go long. I'm going to ride this pump because I'm pretty damn sure we're going to push up this ring. But wherever we're at, if we go sideways and we make contact with it, we'll probably push back up to test that macro trend line, which the next video I'll load that up. Sorry, I don't have the chart up. But we could push up a good ways. We could push up to 115,000, maybe 120,000. That's still going to be our macro resistance. But the point is, even if we pump from, let's say we go sideways and we pump from 96,000 up to 124,000, well, If we're still before it, I'll stay long. But once we cross that ring, whether it's up here, here, wherever we cross it, that is when I go short. So if you want to get access to this chart and have access to it for 2 months, guys, you can sign up directly through my website if you like. Make sure you email me through the contact page to get in touch with me so I can give you the Discord invite link, whether you decide to sign up directly through my website or you take advantage of that event specials, which again, that link's pinned in the first comment description. But again, guys, if you want to get access to these charts, you can do the 2-month option. If you're going to be trading anyways, might as well trade on CoinCatch. They're giving you a hell of a bonus. And like I said, you can use that for trading fees and, to pad your stop loss. Do a little, a little swing trading if you like, or keep it in there and be ready for this big move. But I'm telling you, the big move is coming, guys. And it will be when we contact this ring. But just to clarify, when we make contact with the ring, I will go long. When we cross it, I will go short. And it just, again, going by inflation's pushing up, we have NVIDIA. Looks like a perfect short opportunity around 143. NVIDIA is a huge ass stock. If we get a rejection here, it starts coming down, and that's going to be a lot of money coming out of the stock market. And again, I do think 143 is an ideal point short NVIDIA. Again, this is financial advice. I'm just showing you what's in the charts. Again, got DXY. We know where we're going to get a hell of a bounce. And then we have the Dow chart. Again, we know something major is going to happen if we push up, and it's very possible. This is a resistance level. We push up, we hit this point, people get bullish, and then same thing always happens in a bull market. People get super bullish, thinking, oh, it's going to go higher and higher, and the next thing you know, it just comes crashing down. So the combination with all of these charts and this ring, guys, again, I'll show you after the fact, but I've got, next video I'll show you previous calls I've made with rings and how they played out. But we know something major is going to happen when we make contact with this ring and we cross this ring. So that's what I'm waiting to see to happen. But do check out that tutorial video, guys. I went into detail about trigger orders and limit orders and how I use the tools. So if you want to watch that video, it's a little long. I do have chapters below so you can skip around. But do check out that events page if you want to take advantage of getting cashback offer. That's insane. You deposit $1,000, you get $3,000 back. If you have any questions, you can email me. But if you do decide to do the 500 or 1,000, you can't get access to my charts in Discord. And then I do have that. If you deposit 3,000, you get 3 months full access. That's stocks, tutorials, and all the charts in Discord. So it's up to you if you want to take advantage of it, but all those links will be pinned in the first comment description. Guys, that's it. I'll keep you updated. Until the next video, trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.